I'm gonna take a wee break from the internet for a little while, so I'm not gonna. This is gonna be the last video I'll make for a little while. You know, I'm sure everyone will be so disappointed. All the hundreds of people that watch. Not that it's about quantity; it's about quality of people. Yeah. So today I was thinking, you know, over the last couple of days, they try and you know, when they can't really get to you within the environment that you're in, you know, because you're cutting yourself off and you're kind of staying in isolation, and I don't talk to anyone really around me, and I'm pretty aware that most people who approach me are going to be doing it for kind of nefarious reasons, so I just don't engage with them, you know. But I've seen that they're kind of getting angrier and angrier as time goes on, because I really am just not only ignoring all their antics and not paying any mind to it, and they can kind of see that it's not really having the desired effect on me. All the bullshit that they do around me, I just walk on by, you know. I just don't pay any mind to it. So they're becoming more kind of sneaky, if you like, and pretending that they're coming at me in a kind of friendly way. You know, we are friendly, waving the white flag, you know, we just want to be nice to you. So I think I mentioned in another video that I'm getting more smiles in the street. People will walk past me and they'll be smiling, you know, and I'll just think, fuck off. Like I don't have any interest. Like I don't all of a sudden after all this time think that people are all of a sudden nice, and it's just been me who's been having some kind of psychotic break for the last 3.5 years, you know. It doesn't make any rational sense, does it? So I know it's just something that they do. They kind of change up tactics when something isn't working, you know. They'll try and kind of like ingratiate, is that the right word? Ingratiate themselves to you, you know. Want to pretend that they're on your side, that they're friendly, you know. We come in peace type way. So I was in a supermarket a few days ago, and I'm standing at the till, and the guy has to go away and check something. The guy at the till who served me goes away and checks something. So there's this guy, and he stood behind me in the queue, and I'd seen him as I was walking round. You know, he's wearing a Doctor Who costume, the stripy blazer and the scarf round his neck. So that's obviously his role that he's playing as a Doctor Who. So if you notice as well, a lot of them they won't have a basket or a trolley. They'll be carrying their items that they're shopping for in their hands. And if you keep a look at when you go around supermarkets, occasionally you'll see a little pile of someone shopping, that someone's obviously picked up all these items walking around the store, and then they've dumped them in a spot, you know. Instead of putting things back, they've dumped them in a spot. And that's kind of these people, you know. They're sitting up waiting in these places, especially if you're like me and you don't carry a phone around with you, at least not. Oh, it's nice, lots of mushrooms. They aren't the kind of mushrooms that I like. Yeah, if you don't carry a phone, you know, they've got to have people in your environment kind of all around sitting up waiting, so it's costing them quite a lot of resources, you know, to do this. So you'll notice little piles of shopping that have been dumped. Oh, look at these ones, these are crackers. I think they are ceps or bolettes. They're nice, you can eat them. I got some of them a few weeks ago, but you need to kind of get them quite early, because they can a tendency to be quite maggoty, you know. If you leave it for after the rain, the maggots get to them. And one of them I got was absolutely riddled with maggots, and I got another two. They're quite big mushrooms. I got another two and I cut them up, and one of them had a few maggots in it, so I just picked them out. And then I thought, you know, if there's any that I missed, I'm cooking them anyway. So, you know, you'll all be going, hey, that's disgusting. But if you buy fruit or you eat fruit, you're bound to have ate a few maggots in your life. You're kidding no one if you think that you've not. Anyway, back to the gang stalking maggots, the real life maggots. So you'll notice that if you go around supermarkets, you'll see little piles of shopping that have just dumped. That's these cunts. So this dafty, this fucking Doctor Who, he's walking around carrying his shopping, and I could see him, you know, they just look really unnatural, don't they? They don't kind of fit into the environment. They're too fucking shifty looking. They, you know, they think they're good actors, but they're really not if you look at their body language. So he made sure he was behind me in the queue anyway, and the wee guy at the cashier guy goes away to ask someone something about, you know, something I'm buying, and this cunt tries to set up a conversation with me, but he's doing this. He's all waving his fingers in front of my face, you know, and using his hands, using this, going like that. And they use 5. 5 is a number that they use quite a lot in my targeting, and 5 are, I'll go into it another day maybe about why, or about the times that they've kind of used it. So he's doing this, and he starts saying something to me, and I've got earplugs in, you know, I've kept my left one in just now, but I've took my other one out while I'm talking. So I can't really hear what he's saying, and I'm not interested anyway. So I say to him, he's doing this, and he's putting his hands up, you know, doing all this fucking spell shit in my face, and his little fucking witchy fingers. And I just look at him and I say, I don't have any interest in anything that you have to say. And then I turn my head. And that's all I said to him. I'm not particularly rude, just that I don't have any interest in anything that you have to say. Oh, fucking hell. You'd think I'd spat right in his fucking mouth. This cunt goes ape shit, starts fucking, his face is all fucking screwed up, and he's snarling at me like a fucking wild animal, you know, and telling me I'm this and I'm that, and then he takes a step closer to me, gets right in my face, you know, like in a kind of threatening way. He's so fucking annoyed. And I just kind of look at him like, you know what I mean? There's something wrong with you, seriously wrong with you, getting that uptight and angry over someone just saying I don't want to talk to you. But it's because they can't do their shit, they can't affect you with their shit. And he knows what he was doing, he knows that he was doing all his fucking crap in my face. And he knew that he wanted his words and his little spells to affect me. And because I kind of took my power back and I said no, and that's all you need to say to them is no, I don't allow you to communicate with me. I have no interest in listening to your shit or watching the pish that your fucking wicked little evil hands are doing. They don't like it. So he's snarling away at me, and the cashier eventually comes back and finishes my transaction, you know. And as I walk away, I have to walk past him because the door's knackered, the exit door's knackered, so you have to go out the entrance. There's a security guard kind of directing people, you know. And as I walk past him, he fucking snarls and says something else to me, you know. And I just said, go fuck yourself. And that's kind of my message to all of the gang stalkers is go fuck yourself. Because yeah, that's kind of what I think of you, you know. I'm not interested in you trying to pull your fucking spell shit, doing your wicked little dirty deeds in my face, using your fucking horrible fingers and hands to try and make things imprint on my brain and my mind, and coming at me, you know. We come in peace, and then starting all your fucking shit at me. And that's what they do, so you need to be careful, you know, especially the Doctor Who looking ones that look kind of innocent. These men, you know, these men that look kind of middle class, upper class, wearing their blazers, and they're fucking wicked. They really are wicked. I had another one yesterday, again, like I said, you know what I mean, I had to put this one in his place, just said no. Just take back your power and say no. It's really been ingrained in me since I was a child to be polite, and I've stayed in conversations with people that I really didn't like because I've not wanted to upset the apple cart, and really I shouldn't. I should have just walked away. I should have just said no, you know, fuck off, you know. If anything, I'm a lot more confident now than I ever was, and I'm a lot more willing to just say no. Just say no and just say, you know, fuck off, get away from me, don't speak to me kind of thing. I don't have any worries about upsetting any of these people because at the end of the day, they're not people. You know, you don't need to worry about upsetting people who aren't people. They're fucking devils. So yeah, I had one yesterday. I walked in a shop and I know what I'm in for, you know. I know exactly where I'm heading to. And these two guys are standing again in the shop again. That's their, you know, that's the role that they're playing today. That's the position that they've took. When I go to this town, it's the next town over. It's about 7 miles away. So I walked there, and the washing machine in the house that I live in was broke. So I carried, as well as my usual weight on my, you know, my backpack, I carried a week's worth of washing with me. So I was fucked, you know. I ended up getting the bus home. I would usually walk home, but I was knackered yesterday, kind of doubling the weight that I carry on my back. which is good for me really. I should have walked home, but I never. So I'm in this shop and I've seen these two before. I was volunteering at a charity shop for a little while and they came in and one of them started to shit, the same one that spoke to me yesterday, started to shit when I was directed conversation when I was working in this charity shop. So I knew him straight away, so I'm walking at this shop and heading, I know what product it is that I'm heading for, and he goes, excuse me, and I just say, I don't work here, and carry on walking. I kind of glance at him, but I recognise him straight away. So I glance at him, I go, I don't work here, and carry on walking, and he starts shouting after me how rude I am. Oh, you're so rude. Oh, people have got a real attitude problem, and I mean, how unkind is that? Like losing his shit, you know, just because I've said I don't work here. You know, I don't want to engage with you, and they hate it. They fucking hate it. They hate it. I say that all the time. I don't work here. I've said it to people on the beach and they've looked at me like I'm crazy, you know, they come up to me and try and talk to me, try and start a conversation so they can wiggle their fingers in my face and do their fucking wicked little words that they speak. And I've said, I don't work here on a beach, and they kind of look at you like, what the fuck, it doesn't even make any sense, you know. I don't care. I've also said to people, I don't speak English, you know, just exactly like that. They've come up to me and started talking and I've said, I don't speak English, mate, and just walk away. It really confuses them. They're like, what the fuck? They don't like it though. They don't like it. So hold your power. I say hold your power and don't let these people intimidate you and try and kind of shame you into talking by going, oh, you're so fucking rude, or you should engage with me just because I'm engaging with you in a nice kind of way. You don't owe them anything. You don't owe these people fuck all. You don't need to talk to them. So don't, if you don't feel like it. If you feel like they're doing something that's going to have a detrimental effect on you, which they are, which is the fucking plan, then just don't engage, you know. So anyway, I'm going to stay offline for a little bit, for a little while. Yeah, but I'll speak to you soon, so take care, God bless, lots of love to you, bye bye, bye.